Welcome back to Wealthy Mentor Trading, guys. Today is February 27th, 2022. Today I'm going to be looking at the S&P 500 and where we left off on Friday. We had an eventful week dropping down to lows and then bouncing back up. I'm going to take a look at the chart and tell you where my targets are going forward. I'm also going to be taking a look at three stocks that are on my radar this week, all reporting earnings. Names like Costco, AMC, and Lucid, all reporting earnings on Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. With that being said, guys, please give this video a thumbs up and share it with your friends. We do have a $99 promo right now for 2 months. If you do want to trade with us at Wealthy Mentor Trading on our Discord channel, the link is in the bio for that. All the names that are being discussed today are traded at Wealthy Mentor Trading, either part of our day trading watch lists or our swing trading watch lists. We offer a great selection of names to trade, and we update them every single week, along with our daily watch list where we update them every day. The link is in the bio for that, so if you are interested, click the link and get going. As you guys can see, I do have the S&P 500 chart open here, and as I discussed last week, $4,300 was that line in the sand for me, and as you guys can see, we were hovering around that area, opening up the market on Tuesday this week. It was a short week, so we were around that 4,300 to 4,330 area right here, sandwich in there. And from previous weeks, we did have that $4,300 line as a clear area of support. Buyers did step in here with clear big long wicks here, representing stepping in at that $4,300 area. So we did not want to get below that, unfortunately, with the whole news regarding Russia and Ukraine. That spooked the market, and as you guys can see here, a few days later we dropped down on a gap down all the way down to 41.15, hitting my targets on a bearish note to the downside. Luckily, the market reacted in a positive way soon after, and we did fill that gap, closing Friday session just below that $4,400 line. Overall, I am still bearish on the market, and judging by this pattern here on the 4-hour time frame, we are still in a downwards pattern. This is just a bounce, and by previous history, it looks like we are going to head lower. Now, this week is filled with a lot of economical news events. We do have, Sleepy Joe speaking regarding the whole, fiasco with Russia and Ukraine. We also have job numbers, Chicago PMI, ISM manufacturing, all that's coming up, along with the unemployment rate and payroll numbers on Friday. So it is going to be a packed week filled with economic numbers, especially with the president speaking, and the volatility is going to be up there. We also do have a bunch of earnings, as I mentioned, the three stocks that I'm going to be talking about. So expect a lot of price movement and a lot of volatility going into next week. Now, my targets to the upside on the S&P 500, I do want to see $4,400 break, and my overall area is that 4,450 area, and to me that is that mark in order to start this trend change, right? It's not something to say, hey, we're completely out of the mud, but it's a start, right? So I want to see us above that 4,450 area going into next week. Now, to the downside, again, we need to hold that $4,300 range, right? We do have a lot of support here from prior weeks. And this week, again, right, we stayed above 4,300, even though we dipped down momentarily based on fear. So that $4,300 line, again, is that key number to watch. Now, if we dip down lower, obviously, as you guys can see here from these two red lines, 42.60 and 42.35 are key support zones. If we do see continued fear and escalation going on in the world, we're most likely going to hit that 4,200 and that 41.65 once more. Like I said, we are in a downwards pattern, so expect us to go lower if there are bearish headlines moving forward. With that being said, I do have three stocks that are on my radar, and all these three stocks are reporting earnings. And the first one being Lucid, LCID is the ticker, LCID, right? So Lucid has been down, trending lower. Obviously, as you guys can see here, we hit a top of $62, and here we are in the basement around that 25.50 area. I am going to switch over here to the daily time frame to give you guys a clear outlook. And as you guys can see here, $30 has remained the elephant in the room. We cannot break over that. Multiple rejection points going back to last year, and we are under that currently right now. So we are down 44% year to date. Fundamentally, the company is facing a setback before its deliveries get even going, I should say. They have a safety recall, potentially bringing back 188 vehicles, citing safety concerns, right? So Analyst, Morgan Stanley expects the fourth quarter deliveries to come in below the consensus expectations of around 200 vehicles, which is pretty much almost all the vehicles that they're expecting to deliver based on the safety concerns. So we're at a point right now where we retraced 44% year to date, and we are at a point where we're at key support, right? We held $22. This was basically off the fears with the whole war going on. And to me, if we do want to see a beat on earnings and the price reflecting that, I got to see a break above this $30 range, right? For potentially to test these $33 and $36 range, which is overhead resistance, right? It was support here until it broke. So previous support now turns to resistance to the upside. So on an earnings beat, I want to see a break above 30 to potentially test and hit my targets of $33 and $36. Now, overall, as I mentioned, the stock is bearish. And if we do see a bomb on earnings, we could potentially break $22 and head down to $16, which was the last time we tested it back on September 2021, right? It was 2021 lows. So on an earnings bomb, we could potentially test 2021 lows. And at that point, we are oversold on the major time frame. So watch out for Lucid, and the analyst at Morgan Stanley, they seem bearish on it. So I'm going to go with a bearish target, right? I am looking for that $16 target hit going into earnings, and they are reporting on Monday, guys. All right. The next name that is on my list, and they are reporting earnings on Tuesday, and that's AMC, right? AMC, as you guys can know, around this time last year, it was in the news with this price volatility moving to the upside very sharply. And, we are a year after those events, and we broke down from this descending triangle that I've drawn out from previous streams. And we are sandwiched in between that $20 to $14 range. We are also down 40% year to date. AMC has been hovering around those January 2020 highs, right? So that was the launching point last year. Let's see if it does the same thing this year, right? This stock is heavily shorted, so any type of beat with momentum from consumers could really drive this price higher. The fundamentals are pretty good from the box office standpoint. We are generating $23 million in ticket sales from 4,275 theaters across, and the release of the movie Uncharted, it did pretty well. So fundamentals look really well, but unfortunately fundamentals don't always come into play when you're talking about AMC, right? It is one of those stocks that's highly manipulated. So for me, on an earnings beat, I definitely want to see that $20.50 area break for potential retest at 25 and 29, as I've drawn out here in this highlighter color, right? We are down from that descending triangle. As you guys can see here, we broke down, tried to retest and get above it, and got rejected once more. That's typical, analysis right there. When we break down from a descending triangle, we end up going lower, right? So we are at that $14.50 range. If we do break that and receive an earnings bomb, we could potentially drop down to the next support area, which is that $9 mark. Now, I don't foresee that coming anytime soon, as this stock tends to trend sideways even past earnings. So on a beat, look for that $20.50 area if you are trading options, go long on above $20. And if you are, one of those people that wants to bet on earnings and buying puts, look for $14 for a bearish entry. All right, guys. So that is my views on AMC, and it's still currently bearish at the moment. So be aware of that if you are taking positions. The overall trend is going lower. Okay, another name that is reporting earnings, and it's one of those consumer names that also reflects Walmart, which is also reporting earnings, or Target, also reporting earnings. So those names definitely factor into this name, and that's Costco. COST is the ticker, and Costco is one of those names that has held its own. Here we are on the daily time frame. As you guys can see here, we do have a high of $572. Now it is down 9% year to date. However, analysts have remained bullish, maintaining an outperform rating with a $600.10 price target. Analyst also at BMO noted, and I quote, we consumers, we continue to expect more price sensitivity consumer environment through 2022 and aggressive price positioning, right? So they are expecting people to come in here and buy Costco stock and expect it to go even higher, right? They have that $600, $10 price target, so they are bullish in a sense. And if you notice across the markets, we have had a pullback on all the major big names, right? So for Costco to only be down 9%, it is a safer hedge as opposed to the other big names that's out there right now. So from a technical standpoint, I am looking for a break above this 23.50 area. As you guys can see here, multiple rejections on the daily time frame. A break above this, we could potentially test this high right here back on February the 9th at 535. So that's my target number one. And my second target is that 550 range. Test this area where we haven't, been since the start of the year, right? We broke down in January from that 550 area. So it is a test of that breakdown area at 550. So on a beat, I am looking for a break above 523.50 to retest 550. Now on an earnings bomb, we could potentially drop down to this $483 area where it was the point where we sold off last week due to the whole Russia and Ukraine fiasco going on overseas, right? So we could potentially drop down to 483 on an earnings bomb, but overall the chart is in a neutral position. I do want to see 523 break because we do have a multiple rejections on the daily time frame. So to me, you know, buyers don't have enough power at the moment to break that, but if we do break that, we could see a sharp price movement to the upside, hitting that 550 area. All right, guys, those are three stocks that I'm going to be taking a look at, all reporting earnings. And again, keep in mind the S&P 500 is in a bearish stance, right? We're still below 4,400. I want to get above that 4,450 area to create that trend change that I'm talking about, right? We do also have a slew of economic report numbers coming out, so expect a lot of volatility going in next week. So trade safe, be patient, and wait for the opportunities to come to you. Do not chase the market, as there's always more opportunities every single day. Thanks for joining us, guys, and be sure to check out Wealthy Mentor Trading on Discord. The link is in the description. $99 for 2 months. All right, thank you so much. See you guys next week. Bye-bye.